Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. This time is of the Mezco Toys PX exclusive cable. Let's get started. Gotta honestly say, I'm pretty happy with this, but I know some people will have their gripes. One of those things being that the height may not be to some people's liking, and definitely the simple fact that one of the light up features on one of the weapons was omitted. And hey, it happens. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the figure. It took some modifications, but I think it was really done right. But it will have gripes for people who were looking for something else in particular. So, in general, let's get started into the review. This body is I want to say it's a Punisher body, modified for that to fit for cable on, with the modifications made for the light up feature like Cyclops. So we'll jump into all that right after we take a look at the articulation. Now, because of the light up feature being added, the head articulation does not look down. But in replacement, because it's a older body, technically a 1.0 body, you actually get a bit of ab crunch to allow you to move around. So unlike with Cyclops, you definitely do have a little bit of wiggle room here. And I wanted to point that out because while you can't look down, but because he can bend over, it definitely can help with him looking forward. So just keep that in mind. Then we have our arm articulation, which can go out with no problem on either side, whether it's the telekinetic arm or the normal arm. Arms are double jointed as well. So there we go. You can fold in, you can make that V shape. You have your standard wrist peg articulation, which is nothing new. You can also swivel side to side, which I very much like that you can do even with the neck peg style of this. And again, with the arms, they are double jointed on both ends. So like I said, even with the telekinetic arm, you can go and make that V shape. Now, as far as the legs go, the legs seem a little short but long all at once, so it's a little weird. I guess it's the angles you're putting it at. But wherever the belt sits is going to be what decides how the legs will look. So that's kind of what some people, kind of like a mirage thing. It's an illusion. But it really all depends. Now our legs can go up forward. Even with this sitting here, it can rotate here. You'll see this one piece. Knees are double jointed, even with this piece here. And oh, sorry. That's Ginger the cat rubbing up on stuff. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah. And then you have this generous ankle pivot. Well, mine's already tight, but you do have really nice ankle pivot that will allow you to go forward and backwards in style, right? Now, gotta go, Ginger. Go ahead, go. Now, one of the craziest things you'll realize is that this uses that neck articulation from Cyclops. While some people liked it, some people loved it, there were people who did not. And the reason why that is because when you pop this head off, you normally would not have the articulation. That's definitely seems to be modified here with the cable. You definitely get a little bit of room for wiggle. It's a really nice look. Actually, oh, I shouldn't have popped the head on first. And I got it to fall. Didn't mean to do that either. -2 points for me. There we go. Let's plug that in. So like I said, articulation-wise, the look of Cable in this X-Men style look looks really good because he can actually bend a certain way. So posing him up should not be an issue. You get that eye to light up as well. Now, I'm going to cut off the lights. You can see that eye glows really, really well there. It doesn't burn through the flesh either, which is some people had a problem with on the previous cable because it went through the neck. That is not the case here. Right? That telekinetic eye gets a really good glow. Cut our lights back on, and once you adjust the filter, there we go. No, sorry, not filter. The light, you can still see it glows. Now I'm going to turn it off real fast. Actually, no, I'll leave it on. I'll leave it on for the duration of this video. Accessory-wise, we get our standard hands, but you do get a new accessory, so we'll go over that right after we go over these hands real fast. Now, you will get your gun-holding hands, one for each style of arm. You'll get your scimitar holding hands, and we'll get into scimitar in a second. So if you usually play Marvel vs. Capcom, you'll see what I'm talking about. Then you have your open palms. Then you get the scimitar. Now, again, if you've played Marvel vs. Capcom, you kind of already know what you're talking about. If you've read any of the Jim Lee or John Romita stuff, you definitely also know what I'm talking about here. This is one of Cable's signature weapons throughout the 90s. It's really nice to see it come back, even in a toy format. It has a nice triangular spearhead. Looks really good. And he holds it pretty well, too. We'll get into that in the photo part. Then you get your 2 standard guns you got with your normal cable. This was the one I believe that was shown to have lit up, and I think this was omitted. You also get 2 handy cartridges for, I guess, rounds, ammo rounds. It's a futuristic weapon, so I don't know. So these are your ammo rounds, and you can plug these right in as well. Voila. This still does have its spinning carousel as well from the previous cable, so you have nothing to change there. You also get a small handgun, a pistol. This one has the opening for you to use the firearm piece, so if you have any sort of effect parts from Mezco Toys, it should fit right in there. See, fits right in the slot. Voila. Now, the biggest discrepancy I know that people have are going to be with the height of cable. Me personally, it doesn't bother me because artists draw people different sizes all the freaking time. And I think cable should be like 6 foot something, but he's labeled as 6'8", which is pretty gigantic when you're 6'8" and you already wear like 4-inch platform boots as cable. It makes you like 7 feet tall, which means you should not be taller than Colossus. So here he is next to his normal counterpart, and as you can see, because of the boots, they don't even sit at the same height. But when you kind of raise him to where the boot level is, you'll clearly see that they should be the same height. The biggest difference here is that the boots give him that extra bit of height. It also doesn't help that the bulkiness of the 90s style definitely makes it look as if he is much wider, when in reality, they're technically on the same body. It's just that those boot heights is definitely going to be a discrepancy size-wise. Definitely shows him as smaller here, now that he's in an X-Men uniform. So, now we're going to size him up next to other Mezcos and SHF and all the other things. Now, first things first, because we have some other Mezco X-Men. Here he is next to Wolverine. And I know Wolverine should not be this big next to Cable, so that is a problem for those of you who love the size. And here he is next to Cyclops. And Cyclops is supposed to be pretty tall, and I don't recall Cable being significantly gigantic over his father. So this makes sense here that they should be around the same height. But Wolverine should not be that big. But it is what it is, right? Now we're going to size him up next to some other Marvel Legends X-Men, just in case you want to compare. Here he is with a Marvel Legends Cyclops. And I think they actually stand at a pretty good, decent height. Next up to Bishop. And for some reason, I cannot find my Marvel Legends Cable, but Bishop and Cable stand about the same height in terms of Marvel Legends. So there those guys go. Here he is next to Colossus. Now again, there's no way he should be remotely near Colossus' height at any point in time, but it is what it is. Here he is next to a Wolverine. I got that modified head on there. And even Wolverine, with him being in front, still proved to be smaller than Cable. Right? So now let's take all these guys away. Next up, we have a synthetic human, which is a carb. A Lightning Collection Blaze. Let's get you standing straight up. An SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Cougar. A Articulated Icons Ninja. So as you can see, even with Cable being in his smallest form, still stands over pretty much all of these guys. Next up, we have a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. A Mythic Legions Orc with a custom head by Old Boy. And I gotta take that sword away. It was poking me this whole time. Voila. Last but not least, we're gonna do a Mezco Me on a Gomez body. And I should not be this tall, but I am. So voila. Overall, I really still like the piece, even with its discrepancies. It came out really, really nice. But I know for those of you who love to play by the facts, even if you don't read comics, it's weirdly enough not going to work for you. But it is what it is, right? So if you've enjoyed what you saw and you really want to get the figure, go ahead. If not, it's totally fine to pass, and there's still the normal Cable and the Marvel Legends Cable for you guys to choose from. So you have options. In the meantime, guys, as always, be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later. Guys, one thing I forgot to cover is Cable alternate head. He has a grinning, well, snarling head, just like the previous one. I forgot to show it. So here it is at the end of the video for you guys. So there we go.